If you were to ask me last year what would have been my most anticipated movie of 2022, it was Lightyear. No, 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 not that Buzz Lightyear. Yes, that Buzz Lightyear. I was so excited to see this movie to where you can see in this picture that I was all ready for this movie. And now if you're wondering why a grown-ass man was excited to see this film, well, because Toy Story is my favorite movie of all time. I love Toy Story from the characters, the world building, the stories, and yes, I even love 4. I'll fight anyone who said that's a bad movie. I love the OG Toy Story so much to where it inspired me to become a writer. And growing up, Buzz and Woody were my favorite duo. So naturally, the kid in me wanted to see the man himself, Buzz Lightyear, get his own solo movie. And not the toy itself, the not so live action movie, but the movie version that exists in Andy's world. I'm not sure what to call it, but man, I was so excited to see this movie when it came out. But once I left the theater, I was
disappointed.
Thank you, Julia. Thinking about the movie, I didn't feel amazed by it. Majority of Pixar movies are usually great, from Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, WALL-E. In my personal opinion, the greatest Pixar movie of all time, Up. All those movies are on an A-tier level of great filmmaking, and I love those movies for different reasons. However, Lightyear feels, oh, damn it, what's the word?
Safe.
Thank you, Claire. Even though Lightyear is about a space ranger, time traveling, and fighting a robotic army, it feels safe and it doesn't have that feeling of fun. And I personally feel that Lightyear should have been an adopted version of this classic TV show. Anyone my age or slightly older remembers this show. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was everything I wanted Lightyear to be. Buzz and his crew going on crazy adventures, meeting fun characters, memorable villains, and an entertaining as well as a comedic Zurg, who was voiced by Wayne Knight.
Edges are even.
Fun fact, Wayne Knight also voiced Al from Toy Story 2. However, Lightyear had none of that. At first, I was cool with Pixar doing a new take on Buzz Lightyear in a solo action film, and how he became the Space Ranger we all know and love today. However, after the movie, they should have just made a Pixar version of the beloved Saturday morning cartoon. While Buzz Lightyear Star Command wasn't a deep show like Batman animated series, Arcane, or Avatar The Last Airbender, it was fun. In Lightyear, Buzz's crew weren't cool or had me thinking about them after the movie. Like, anybody here know the names to these characters other than Buzz? Nope. No one?
His name was
These characters almost feel like extras. They have one dimension to them, and they just have like one-note jokes to them. The character that I really loved was Socks. Like, Socks is the homie. He could come to the cookout, but Buzz and other homies keep them across the street. For example, the character Mo was just there to make mess of things and had this weird obsession with pens. Like for real, is this supposed to make me laugh? Darby was just a cliche, old and grumpy character who was good with explosions, and that was it for her. That was the only thing that was going for her character. But the one thing I will credit the movie for is the character of Izzy Hawthorne. Izzy was a character that stuck with me after the movie because she had dementia to her. She wanted to follow in her grandmother's footsteps and become a space ranger. However, the only issue with Izzy was she was afraid of space. See, that's the strength of Pixar writing that lied within Lightyear. However, it didn't show up any other time in the movie. But in Buzz Lightyear Star Command, Buzz's homies, they were entertaining. And most of all, they were memorable. They didn't have complete depth to them, but they had personalities to them. For example, Booster was this big-ass alien linebacker who started as a janitor and dreamed of becoming a space ranger like Izzy. What I liked about Booster was he was a sweet and lovable character. He was kind of the heart of the group and didn't want to always resort to violence. But listen, Booster by far wasn't no punk. He was nice. But he was about that life. Like, if someone didn't want to come in peacefully, he was like, all right, I played that nice guy act. You need to go down right now. And what I also appreciate about the writing about Booster was here you have this big tank character. Usually a character like that are portrayed as dumb or just resort to violence, but not Booster. Booster was kind. So everyone, be more like Booster. But as badly as I want to talk about XR, I have to get back to him in a minute. But first, I have to talk about Mirror Nova.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Man, when I was a kid, there were 2 animated women I simped over. First one was Raven, and the second one was Princess Mirror Nova. Not only was Mirror Nova sexy, she was the kind of second in command of the squad. Whenever Buzz went away to do something, he let Mirror be in charge. And there was a reason why. She actually knew how to fight, she had flying colors in Star Command, and she was also a princess. And rather than be a space ranger than associate with her own people, who were kind of like assholes, she had powers too. See, these were the cool traits that were missing from Lightyear. But while Mirror was Buzz's second in command, she did have her flaws. While Booster and XR were kind of like the Boy Scouts to Buzz, like they did anything Buzz asked them to do, Mirror often clashed with Buzz, and sometimes she wouldn't see eye to eye with him to where she was like, okay, no, this needs to happen. However, after the clash, either her and Buzz would be right and they would apologize to each other, but what I loved between them was that Nova would kind of like rub in the face like, oh yeah, I was right and all. I thought that was always funny. But while my crush would have my eyes and heart, the true star of the show was XR. See, XR and Socks have similarities. Both are robot companions, they were the first in the squad, and they were assigned to assist Buzz. However, while I like Socks, I like the introduction of XR more. We get introduced to XR in the very pilot episode of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, The Adventure Begins. And he starts as this paint-by-numbers robot. You know, the type of robot that calculates, doesn't have a personality to them, and talks in that cliche robot manner?
XR reporting for duty.
But then XR gets destroyed in a blast, and there's this plot point in the first episode where the LGM, also known as the Little Green Man, you know, those green aliens from Pizza Planet, they lose their orb that's from their home planet and makes them incredibly smart because Zurg took it away. Something like that happened, and they're not as smart as they once were. So they have to rebuild XR, and once they rebuild XR, he's not as he once was. He has a complete personality change. And now we have the star of the show, where he's funny, sarcastic, energetic, and above all, smart. I like XR a lot because he's a comedy relief of the show. But while he's, throwing jokes and all, he was highly intelligent, of course, because he's still a robot. And, when Buzz and the crew are going to their adventures, he usually analyzes evidence, has background knowledge of different places and characters. While we're on the subject of robots, how about we talk about Zurg? One of the reasons why I was excited for Lightyear was the fact that Zurg was the antagonist of the movie. I liked his look. I liked how he was tall, how threatening he was, and how he commanded an army of robots. And with all that, Zurg was like the common Marvel villain. Flat, boring, and really not much to the character. But in Buzz Lightyear Star Command, he was not that at all. See, in the show, Zurg was the opposite, where he looked like the actual toy from Toy Story 2. And while some may say he was an opposing threat like he was in Lightyear, he did have personality. Despite being the most threatening figure in the galaxy, Zurg was funny.
Pardon me, Evil Emperor Zurg. We have you down for 2 p.m. gloating.
I thought 2 p.m. was scheming.
We bumped scheming to 3.
Now, it'd be nice if someone let me know that. The Emperor's always last to know. You ever hear of a memo?
While shouting at his henchmen and failing to stop Buzz, he would say these quips that were pretty funny. Also, too, when I rewatched this for this video essay, Zurg had a thing about personal space. Like, he did not want to be touched by no one. Like, he just hated it.
Don't ever touch me. I've got a thing about personal space.
And I can see when people say, well, Zurg was a typical Saturday morning cartoon villain. But every time he would show up on screen, I was excited to see him. And if I had to compare Zurg from Buzz Lightyear Star Command to other Disney villains, he kind of reminded me of Hades and Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, where you had two villains that were funny but were ready to murder someone. I mean, Hades was really beefing with a baby. Like, come on, man, you a grown-ass man. Like, let that child be. I just want y'all to know that's something I noticed while writing this video essay. And Yzma, I can understand because Cusco was kind of an asshole. But back to the point. I wanted Zurg from Lightyear to be their next Syndrome or Ted Lasso, whatever that evil bear's name is. But no, they went that safe route where the villain had no personality. I felt like Pixar just focused on his aesthetic and the twist at the end. And for people thinking that a villain can't be funny or threatening, people, I present to you the spot for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Nothing else needed. And while the twist in Zurg in Lightyear didn't work for me, neither did the story. In Lightyear, Buzz was trying to get a colony of people off this planet, in which he crashes the ship in the beginning of the movie, and he's desperately trying to fix this wrong that he has made. And watching how the plot came to be, I wish Pixar had fixed this wrong. Because one, Pixar has stated that Lightyear is the same movie that Andy went to go see, and after seeing the movie, him wanted to go get a Buzz Lightyear toy. And I have one thing to say from that.
Bullshit!
Pixar know goddamn well that Andy to go see this movie. If anything, he would come back from school and watch Buzz Lightyear Star Command with all the toys from Toy Story. I don't think a single kid would watch this movie and be like, Auntie Lola, I want a Buzz Lightyear for my birthday. Hell no. If anything, they would ask for a socks toy. Buzz trying to get all these people off this stranded planet, that isn't as cool as or fun as Lightyear of Star Command. Buzz teaming up with a robot, 2 aliens, and going across the galaxy to different planets in order to stop a robotic tyrant. See, that's a movie. Not only is it a movie, but it's a fun movie. Lightyear is not a fun Pixar movie, how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a fun movie so badly. Lightyear could have reinvented the characters of Booster, Nova, and XR in a Pixar treatment where they were compelling and had depth to them. In addition to the OG squad from Buzz Lightyear Star Command, these characters would have had a great dynamic with Buzz. Booster could have been the kind soul to bring the team together. Nova could have clashed with Buzz a few times in the movie, while also having a great respect for him, with the addition of her being second in command. XR could have been the comedic relief relief while also being the most intelligent one out the squad. And by taking the character of Zurg's personality of the show, he could have been a fan favorite by him being a comedic villain while also posing as a huge threat within the story. I know it seems like I hate Lightyear, and I don't. I was just thoroughly disappointed that Pixar, who has made countless great films and took one of their most iconic characters, ignored a great world that was set up right in front of them and chose a forgettable story. And from it flopping and getting mixed reviews, they are definitely not getting that Woody Roundup movie. No, we're not getting that movie, people. That's fact. It's sad because I really wanted Lightyear to succeed so that movie could be made too. But I guess I just gotta play Red Dead Redemption 2. But just imagine Pixar had the OG squad in the movie. People who grew up watching the show would instantly recognize these characters and take their kids to go see it and experience the same things they did when they were children. But the Lightyear movie that I wanted is somewhere in the multiverse. Hopefully in the future, Pixar would learn from this mistake and don't go down that safe route, but a route that will lead them to fun and memorable stories. Until next time. And everyone, thank you for listening to my first video essay ever. I know this was a challenge, but it was also fun too. And thank you, yes. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this essay. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are planning to do more than just movie reviews. If there's more content that we're going to build out, I have a crew right behind me. So yes, thank you everyone. Enjoy your day and stay frosty.